Podcast Network Asia. First Metrosec is providing this podcast as a general market commentary. Reference to any specific security, product, or entity do not constitute as an offer or a solicitation of an offer to buy or sell any financial instruments or to participate in any particular trading strategy. The statements, comments, views, or opinions expressed by the hosts are subject to change without notice, and First Metrosec is under no obligation to update, amend, change, or correct any of the statements, comments, views, or opinions expressed. The statements, comments, views, and opinions expressed by the guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the view of First Metrosec. First Metrosec disclaims any liability arising from reliance on or reference to any information obtained in this podcast.
You are listening to First Metro Securities Philippine Stock Market Weekly Podcast, where we feature timely and relevant discussions on the Philippine stock market and the economy in the hope of providing you investing and trading guidance. Here's your host.
Good afternoon. I am Peter Bautista and welcome to the Trading Room. Grateful to everyone for making time to join us in what promises to be a very interesting and very enjoyable episode. Well, to the guys who are new joining us here and to the guys who have been here for the longest time, here at the Trading Room, the foremost executives, policymakers, and market movers we engage them in insightful and informative conversation. Aside from basically picking their brains on current topics and latest market developments, we now have the opportunity to know the men and women behind their titles and successes. Let's draw from their vast experiences as we navigate the markets in our personal and professional lives. Guys, just a few reminders before the main event. The Q&A button is at your disposal. Just type away questions for our guests. The goal is to try to go through all your inquiries, time willing. Remember, market news and updates, one First Metro Viber community. Simply join using the link provided in the chat box, somewhere there. Recordings of all our past episodes can be found in the First Metro YouTube channel. So like, subscribe, and share. First Metro is a sexagenarian this year, guys. We will be celebrating our 60th anniversary this coming Sunday, June 25. And we kind of felt that it was one of the best ways to celebrate the milestone is to actually share, get the insights and wisdom of a man who has made an indelible mark on the company's growth and success. This afternoon's very special guest served as First Metro president from 97 to 2011. He was chairman from 2011 to 2022. And to this day, the company continues to benefit from his guidance as senior advisor to the board. Friends, it is my privilege to introduce the Vice Chairman of Metrobank and the Chairman of GT Capital, Mr. Francis Sebastian.
Good afternoon, Peter. Thank you very much for having me this afternoon.
Hi, sir.
I am very pleased that this is a special occasion for you. So I'd like to congratulate the First Metro people, the First Metro team for the 60 years of business making in the Philippines, a real history. But I'd like to also express my happiness in having been with you, with the company for 25 years of those 60 years. So I'm very privileged and blessed to have been with you guys through almost half of the journey. The second reason why I'm happy today is I also like to congratulate the First Metro team for bagging the Best Investment Bank Award for last year. Is that correct? From the Finance Asia. I consider this one of the primest awards that an investment bank can receive. I think in our history, Peter, we have many, many awards, but not as much as Best Investment Bank, especially from a company like Finance Asia. Also, I'm jealous, Peter, because during our time, it took us 5 years to win our first award. I think it was 97 to 2002. We got our first award from I think Asset Magazine, and that was for bonds, best bond issuer. And of course, I'm jealous because your new chair Mayat Caparas, just 1 year at the helm, and she already got an award. So this is a fantastic achievement. So congratulations, Team First Metro, Chair Caparas, President Pat Dumlao, Dan Camacho, Okay, the traveling investment banking head, of course, his team, his investment banking team, as well as Peter, your team as
Sure.
well. No? So
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
I'd like to start with a little good news for everyone, no? For
Oh,
you
great.
and for
Yes, please.
everyone.
Please.
This is what I read today. Philippine economy to rank 18th by mid-century. Peter, that in all the years that I am with First Metro, good news, good weather or bad, we always find something good to celebrate, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
today,
Yes,
this
sir.
is what I'd like to point out. The Philippines will be number 18 by 2050. We are today number 38. So that's a big leap.
That's a big leap.
Of course, I may not be around, but I think we have a lot of young guys around who will be young guys here who will be around during the time. Secondly, Peter, thanks for sending me the CEO Gupta, DBS CEO comments,
Yes.
Mr. Gupta, right?
Yes,
Who
sir.
mentioned that the rest of the decade will be for the Philippines. In fact, he said that in the past it was called Darling of Asia. Now it's going to be called Sweetheart of Asia. So I think there's something to celebrate. I think we should always remember the trajectory. I always complain to you, Peter, that many people look too closely to the trees rather than seeing the forest.
Yeah.
So good news happening to the Philippines, and I'm very happy to hear that.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
nice
Thank
to
you for
be.
having me.
It's nice. It's nice to finally be acknowledged. It's nice. It's nice for the region to finally take a look at us properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Good.
Go Philippines. Go Philippines.
Right.
Well, sir, thank you for again for accepting the invitation.
Most welcome.
Long time coming. Definitely worth the wait. I'm sure everybody here. I'll let you know later how many people registered, but definitely worth the wait, sir.
I'm
If you
just,
don't
ha-
mind.
I'm just happy you're not charging because we don't want any solid bias or something. Okay, go ahead. Take
Yes,
it
sir.
away.
Let's get this show on the road, so to speak. Sir, I and the rest of First Metro have experienced firsthand the passion, the energy that you bring to every task at hand. So, can you please share with us what a normal work day is like for a Francis Sebastian?
A normal day.
A normal day, sir.
There is such a thing. Okay. Uh, there are usual activities, of course. Normal day. I'll have to admit that the day starts with the first meeting. I call it the first meeting, and it is the daily mass. As you know, I work with Mr. T for most of the 25 years. And Mr. T is up by about 7 o'clock, no? And he would not hesitate calling you if he has something to ask. And this 7:30 to 8:15 is a sacred time. And throughout those years that I've worked with him, no phone call during that time. He knows exactly where I am. So the mass starts with the daily. The day starts with the daily mass, holy mass, which only lasts about 30, 45 minutes, including prayers after. And then, as I encourage everybody in the First Metro, if you're having breakfast, have breakfast with somebody. Okay, that may be to reconnect, to exchange views, to even to find an old friend, a customer, a client, a colleague. Have a breakfast with anybody. So the day for me is almost every day. Breakfast is the cheapest way to see a client. It's also the shortest time, so it's very convenient. After the breakfast, I will be very happy if I could spend time to read the papers. I'm not a really voracious reader, but I'd like to keep myself up to date, as you have seen just now earlier.
Yes.
If I have a little bit more time, I read The Economist with passion, and I get a lot of interesting articles from there. And then after that, there are a series of meetings that almost are interminable, Peter, from board meetings to committee meetings. That can be with GT Capital. That can be with Metro Bank itself. And then, of course, when I have time, I kind of show up in your in your SMC meetings and your deal committee meetings. So
Always
a lot of
welcome, sir.
meetings.
Always
But
welcome.
I try to find blocks of time in the afternoon to sort of do a little bit of staff work, a little bit of thinking, a little bit of planning. And then at the end of the day, I reserve the dinner for family or my own personal things. That's about how the schedule goes.
Full day, always a full day, sir. Always a full day with you.
Always a full day. That's true.
One meeting leads to the other. No,
Yes.
so great. I guess our audience would really appreciate the fact that it starts with God. it starts with God. And you make the most out of the short day that we always have. Thank you for that, sir. So
Thank you.
next question. I'm sure people are curious to know, how did you get into investment banking, sir? And what basically motivated you to pursue the career?
Well, I've heard a lot about accidental investment bankers. I've read a book. I don't know if our people in First Metro remember that one of the best books I have is entitled Accidental Investment Banker. Maybe I'll call myself a providential investment banker because there was really no great plan to be an investment banker. I do remember that the speaker in our graduation in 1975 at the Ateneo is SKR, Ting Rojas, who is the brains behind Bancom. So that's as close as I got to investment banking. And then I applied for a job in Insular Life, management trainee.
Okay.
And I sort of had a very bad interview. We were the last two to be interviewed. This is a management training where you come out as a sort of a senior, as a manager, an officer, right after 2 years, which is a short time. Unfortunately, I fumbled the interview. The interviewer, I remember his name, Felipe Enaje, is like an HR director of the Ayala Group, not just Insular Life, asked me what makes a good manager. And I said, guts, brains, and guts will make a good manager. I explained it, did very well. And then in the end, he looked at me and said, this is a panel of interviewers. Huh? He looked at me and said, Francis, whatever happened to the heart? And of course, I tried to get out of it. I said, if you have brains, you have to have the heart. But apparently, that didn't convince him. So my application was rejected. They circulated my CV to the Ayala group of companies. And it ended up in Ayala Investment, which is the antithesis of Bancom. They were the two competitors during the time. And I asked my brother, my only brother, who was always my advisor, what course to take, where to go, what school to go to. And he said, I like Ayala, that's good. And investment banking, that's the future. So I joined. And that's how it happened. And then I call myself providential because in 1984, I don't know if you know that I have lost my investment banking career, my job in Hong Kong, because of the Philippine political crisis. All the investment banks were closed. And from that time on, I swore that I will never be an investment banker again.
Okay.
I mean, losing your job is one of the most painful experiences. My mother warned me though that you shouldn't swear because things go wrong when you swear. True enough, 1984, I switched. I got out of investment banking, and then I set up my own business. In 1997, Mr. T calls and says, would you like to head our investment bank in the Philippines? So I did it for 3 years on a part-time basis until I got committed, and of course, the rest is history, Peter. So no great plan. Don't think about it as somebody who want to be an investment banker. No, I just did what I have to do and try to do as best as I can in the position that I'm given, the opportunities that are open up to me. Thank you.
I think we were the winners in that that providential turn of events. We were the winners there. Thank you for
thank you.
Thank you.
It's
Sir.
been a journey. Thank you.
There's a question here. Out of the number of deals that you've worked on rather, is there one single deal, sir? The most memorable deal or the most memorable transaction for you, and basically what made it stand out, sir?
When you've worked for almost 5 decades, Peter, the deals don't really stand out very much. There are good deals when I was young, good deals in the midlife, good deals when I was an entrepreneur, and good deals in First Metro. But what I remember, what would be meaningful for me are the experiences I had. No? First, as an investment banker in Hong Kong, which has been wonderful. No, I mean, we were at that time. The Philippines was top of the region in terms of economic in economic terms. And I don't know if many people know this, but the Ayala Group owned the Grand Hyatt of Singapore. It's a 1,000-room hotel, and we managed that. We own it, we manage it, we expanded it, we listed it in the Singapore stock market, we privatized it, and finally sold it to Sultan of Brunei. That's a fantastic deal, right? That was what Ayala and what the Philippines was in the 70s. And then, of course, I set up my own business thanks to a very good friend and partner, Boy Reyes. who took a gamble on me and started running a financial consulting business and business services. And that was a 13-year experience, another journey of being your own boss, waking up when you have to wake, when you want to wake up, not reporting to anyone. And then, of course, the longest journey, of course, is Metro Bank. And probably that's, I would say that is the most memorable. Okay, just to put deals on the table, since that's your question, I remember two kinds of deals in First Metro. First are the capital development deals that we did. Of course, the retail treasury bonds. I don't know how many people know that, but this is a creation of our treasury guy then, Mr. Jojo Dispo, who was the deputy treasurer of the Bureau of Treasury. And in fact, the RTB is a reverse of the word BTR, right? RTB. That's the origin of that. And when we started doing that, it was a fixed term bond for 5 years. 5 billion was the biggest issue that we could do. And today, I think, Peter, you can see how, 500 billion in one pop and sometimes twice a year. Yeah. Of course, it's not anymore First Metro's property, but we contributed towards that. Not just us, Land Bank did, even BDO did help us, Metro Bank through the distribution channels. But that's probably a signal that the Philippine capital markets has arrived, no, particularly in debt terms, no. Then, of course, we did other issues. Corporate bonds followed. And then after that, project finance. But then other than those deals and activities, we also did fantastic private equity investing, no? Which was, I don't know, it was even called private equity before. It's called venture capital, direct. Now it's called PE. Before it's direct investment, VC, venture capital. And we did, of course, good ones. We had the global power business, which solidified the bank. The bank had the largest power generation plant in the Visayas, no? First Metro, owned by First Metro. And then, of course, we have AXA as a joint venture with the AXA Group. All of them have grown over time. But at that time, First Metro was both the investment bank and the investment company of Metro Bank. So we had all those little companies that we managed to grow over time. And I think those are very memorable, no? To see Philippine Life is the name of AXA. That was like 20 million peso company before. Yes. To see it second largest, to see it with a few billions in income, it's fantastic, no? And of course,
yung ba yung Panfil Life?
Panfil Life. Right,
oh wow!
Yeah, so those are memorable deals, but again, it's not the deals, but the experience, the journey that we go through, that we remember as you grow in age. You will come to there, Peter, in many years, many more years.
Thank you. Yeah, but it's really nice that these transactions are legacy transactions, basically. It kept growing and growing into another organism. Now there's still RTB. I mean, access strong. Everything's strong. Global power is
right.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I think I have questions already from the audience. I hope you don't mind.
Not at all.
I'll combine the question into one. Our audience would like to know what your views are on the Maharlika Fund.
The intention of the Maharlika Fund is definitely good. I think it's good to accelerate investments. In the Philippines, our struggle is in creating capital. And that's why the mission of First Metro is very, very critical. You can have banks, you can have savings accounts, you can have money floating around, but if they all remain in the short term, they will never be productive and they will not create growth. Now, outside our capital mobilization in the Philippines, we try to bring in foreign direct investments. And that, I think, is very important. And that's how you grow. That's how you get out of the vicious cycle of poverty. But other than foreign investments, you want to also mobilize savings locally. In a way, Maharlika is a way of mobilizing savings, moving it towards the long-term view rather than short-term. Of course, there are issues here of how it will be controlled, how it will be managed. Again, as you know, everything you can be very well intentioned, but it depends now on how it will be executed.
Yes.
One of the difficulties that we have here, if we are comparing it to the sovereign wealth fund of other countries, is we don't have a pool of where the money will come from. That's a particular issue. And if we can invite others to join in, I think it will give it a good boost. But to me, anything that develops investments, that everything that looks long term is good. It's not. It's another question of how you manage it, of how you run it, how transparent it is, and so on. So I think, to me, generally, this idea is good.
And I think, since it's all about nation building, it will be directed to projects that will really hasten
True.
nation
Yes.
building. I
Right.
don't think it's a bad idea for people to actually give it a chance. Basically, give it a chance.
Yes. And of course, we have to be vigilant in making sure that the standards are there to be met in terms of transparency, who are the people running, and how it's going to be run. With the publicity that is generating, I think it will have to be run very, very properly. It's already gotten so much press and so much talk that I don't think it can be run like a private company or something that will be giving the behest investments and so on. So I'm quite optimistic that it can move forward and it can help us create that capital we need in order to grow.
Understood, sir. It's going to face so much scrutiny. It already is. You're right. It hasn't started, and the scrutiny is there already. So what more if and when it actually launches?
So vigilance,
Yes.
vigilance from our side is important, and I think we should continue to do that. Huh? All right. Good.
Yeah, and I think that will make sure things really happen the way they're meant to happen. We first enter the capital markets. How much has the landscape changed really? In
Oh,
terms
wow.
of its trends? How
Wow.
has it changed?
It's day and night, Peter. Day and night. I never thought that I would live to see that the Philippines will be again the center of Asia. I had a very great experience coming to Hong Kong in the 70s, because at that time our company license in Hong Kong, Peter, is number 6.
Okay.
There were 374 listed deposit-taking companies. Ayala's license is number 6. Just to show you how ahead we were in the region. And we had offices in Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok, and Indonesia.
Oh, wow.
And we have investments in all those countries. Bancom also exists in those countries. And together with us, there's always SGV, which is a regional name in the 70s. Of course, 1984 crisis came, political crisis, which of course ended up into the Philippines financial crisis. We all know that, a painful experience. So I've seen the Philippines go from top to bottom. And it's been a long climb, Peter. When I came back to the Philippines, interest rates were like 19, 20%. And the only investment a strategy in the Philippines then is to either salt dollars or put your money in short-term 24% interest-bearing instruments.
Wow, 24%.
That is suicide, right? I mean, but you see, as over time, the Philippines has built the reserves through overseas Filipino workers.
Uh-huh.
We couldn't export. We cannot. This is not a field that we can be competitive. But in terms of people, we are the most competitive. I always say the Philippines is a class of its own, a sui generis. No country is similar to the Philippines. The quality of people, the number of people, it's just amazing. Then, of course, after that, the BPOs came. And before you know it, we had reserves that can pay all our foreign debt. And so I think, if I remember right, in 2010 or 12, the Philippines reached investment grade.
Yes, that is correct. Yes,
That is amazing. When you reach investment grade, that's the time the capital markets develop. That's the time when people can invest in pesos without fear. Before, you never buy pesos. You always buy dollars. And that's the time that you can bring in money and bring out money. And I think, as you know, the BSP has been very good at that. So it's an amazing journey that to see the Philippines goes up to from up to down. And I think we're back. The Philippines is back, and it's exactly what I showed you earlier.
Yeah.
And the
27
message
years
of
from now, and
this is not us talking. This is not this is marketing talk. These are other countries talking about us. And I think those are the ones that will give us strength. And that is the trajectory. Of course, in between, Peter, we will have all these little crises here and there. They can be political,
It's part of growing
economic,
up.
they can be natural. That is such is life. But I think over time, it's always good to see where we are headed. No? What the long-term view. Always keep the long-term view. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Well, guys, sorry. Speaking of trends, shameless plugging on our end. First Metro will be having its mid-year economic and capital markets briefing in July. Invitations will be sent out in due time.
All right. Good.
So I have a question here from the audience. Would you advise young professionals to go abroad for career progression or in their chosen career paths?
Many years before I would actually do that because, frankly, Peter, I have seen many friends in the investment banking field that were sent abroad. You know why? They're so good. The Philippines is too small for them
Yeah.
because of the capital markets. But I think today, I'd say stick it out in the Philippines. The growth is here. And as you know, many of the businesses today are cross-border.
Yeah.
I have many friends who work here for US and regional companies without, you don't have to go abroad to be able to work for a foreign company. So I think the most exciting place is the Philippines. Perhaps the income will be small in the beginning, but in terms of activity, I think there is enough work to be done in the Philippines. So I'd say this is where to be. This is where to be.
Yeah. The
In fact,
potential is
I also would like to point out that I see also many good friends who are coming back to the Philippines. I forgot to mention, Peter, that in 2050,
Mhm.
the Philippines will be as big as Russia. Okay? And India will replace Japan as the third largest country in the world. So you see, things are happening. Things are happening at home. So I think that is where to be, and I think that's where the action is. No? So I would not. Probably in the past, I would recommend going out for experience to get more activity. But today, this is where the action is. The Philippines is the center of Asia.
The world is looking at us. Don't go anywhere.
Yes,
Basically,
true.
don't go
Yes,
anywhere.
yes.
And other
Yeah.
things, Russia, here we come.
Yeah.
Russia, here we come. I have more. Sir, the questions are coming in already.
No problem.
From your experience of increasing energy availability in the Visayas, which supported the growth of the economy, power
Mhm.
is always top of mind for FDIs. How can energy investments be accelerated for the country?
I think, thankfully, we have one of the best, maybe the best Department of Energy Secretary today, Mr. Lutilia. Spent many years with him. I met him during our Visayas Day. His mind is exactly where it should be. He is addressing the issues today, and he's also lifted foreign ownership of many projects. And I think we are, unfortunately, of course, he's probably about 6 years, a little bit on the late side. I mean, I wish we had him 6 years ago. Now we are seeing the ill effects of not having built generation business for the last, probably for the last 4 or 5 years. But I think things are being done today as we speak in terms of increasing more investments into the Philippines. No? And I think I'm optimistic that this will happen. We may have some rough patches during this year or the next year or maybe another 2 years. But after that, I think we will enter a period of stability. What is very important also is fixing all the things that have been sort of more or less not taken care of in the past. And I think there's a lot of changes in the regulations, a lot of changes in the attitude that we should be positive towards these new investments, no? Including foreigners who want to invest in the Philippines. So I'm quite optimistic that we have the good people, we have good people, a set of people in the government who are addressing the problems as they are. No? Thank you.
So that's a better late than never, but yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah,
We'll get
we
there.
are, yes.
We'll get there.
That's right.
So government really will play to our
Very much.
to our audience who asked that. We will get there. Government is doing its best, and it's just a matter of time, guys. Sir, I understand you're a like some of us, you're a gearhead of sorts. So in your stable of vehicles, which car is most dear to you?
Among my cars.
Yes, sir. Whether
Oh,
it's
wow.
now or in the past. What's your
No. Well, I started my life driving a 240Z, two-seater, because three is a crowd, Peter. And those were my bachelor days. That was
40Z?
that's probably one of my favorite cars. But today I'll tell you that the car that truly impressed me. Well, of course, After that, I bought a BMW. And at that time, Toyotas and BMWs in the 70s are totally different. I mean, Toyota seats cannot even be adjusted. But today, of course, the Toyota car is equivalent to a BMW. And I can tell you, among all my cars, my favorite is the Lexus. And it's really a great car to drive, better than your GT, Peter. Much better. Handles very well. Quiet. It's a perfect car. In fact, I have a friend from Los Angeles. He has 45 cars. And the wife said, Leo, sell all your cars, just keep the Lexus.
Oh, that's nice.
So to me, it's a Lexus is the best car. Is the best engineered car. Thank you.
That's nice.
And that's not a plug. That's not a plug. That's a
no plugging there whatsoever. No plugging
personal
whatsoever.
assessment.
Sir, let me turn a little serious here. Can
Mhm.
you share an instance where you had to make a tough decision that could have gone against, I don't know, popular opinion or faced some opposition? And how did that pan out, sir?
I'm quite. I mean, decisions that are business based are. I'm quite a little bit. As you know, I can be actually brutal, right, Peter? No, I mean, I can make hard decisions and make the tough calls.
Mhm.
I find the most difficult things to do will be relate to people, particularly those we want to let go, those that we want to transfer, those that we want to move. I think people are the most important resource of any organization. And that is, to me, that is the hardest part. It's always the most difficult issue, managing people, talking to them, letting go of people, particularly. Those are the hardest things to me. I mean, other things we can make good decisions and we can analyze it, evaluate it. But when it comes to people, that is the hardest thing for me.
Right? It beyond the relationship. I'm sure that the personal relationship you develop, it's also
Well,
you talk about
the
life
problem
decisions.
is the problem, as you can see, Peter, is I always generate very close relationship with people. You know that. I mean, from the messenger to the highest officer, I have somehow a sort of a relationship that I build, no, in terms of talking to them, in terms of so when you do that, you get emotionally invested in the person,
Yeah.
and when things go wrong, the heart breaks.
Yeah.
The heart breaks. But in all these things, I have done somehow it all have turned out well because when you come out to them with sincerity, when you talk to them, when you embrace them, and when you let them see where you're coming from, personally, very personally, I think things pan out in the end. No?
No burning
think-
bridges there, just keeping the relationship alive even after
Yes,
the
yes.
official ends.
Yes. Right.
Sir, from another question from the audience. How do you see cryptocurrency, NFTs, and other digital money affecting our banking system?
All right. I have to beg off from that question from the beginning. That's not a familiar area for me. So I don't think I'll be competent in terms of crypto and NFT. Sorry. I'm sorry about that. I will not
No worries, sir.
answer.
No worries, sir.
Pass. Okay.
Wala namang capture yung pass. Okay lang.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Sir, are there any key principles or values that you cherish and that guide you throughout the day in and day outs of leadership, sir?
Well, we apply this two level of things as far as business or work is concerned, as you know. No, I mean, we've done this in First Metro. We look at success as the intersection of providence and diligence. No, it's diligence. We have defined and we have actually broken down into many things. No, such as working hard, working fast, and working smart, continuous learning,
Yes,
and of course, working as a team.
yes, sir.
And of course, in the end, working with a passion. No, as you know, work is moved from IQ to EQ. And if you follow Alibaba's head, Jack Ma, he says the best person will have LQ, which is love quotient, which at the end of the day is passion. And having passion for work is really what diligent work means. No? Then you have providence, which is, of course, realizing that there is a greater force that makes things happen. No? And it is when the two meet that you have success. But other than just providence being, okay, we have to pray and we have to ask, providence is also defined as behaving according to the principles of the other being that is higher than us. I think that is very important. If you look at the direction of where companies are being run, on how they're being run, all this corporate governance, Peter, come from a one source, no? First from the divine law, no? Which is translated into human law, corporate law, and so on. At the end of the day, when we believe in providence, then we behave according to what God wants us to behave. No? The integrity, honesty, humility in all cases, being outward oriented rather than selfish, forming your character rather than being a character,
There you go.
or
There you go.
self-dealing. So many things are avoided. The ego, the feeling of being master of the universe, this is how when things go wrong. So when you have that overlay of providence, you appreciate that we can work as hard as we can, as we say in Bulacan. Nasa tao ang gawa, nasa Diyos ang awa. To have that kind of perspective, Peter, I think it's really the way to go. No? And I'm very happy that during my time with Mr. T, I was watching this romance of the three kingdoms. No? It's about these three empires in China fighting for each other. A lot of subterfuge, a lot of strife. They use that for business now.
Yes. Yes.
But I realized that first, all these people are so passionate. They love crying. These Chinese emperors, unbelievable. Number two, they believe in the supernatural being.
Yes.
And so there is a lot of yielding to what is God's and doing what is man's. We as we say, we do what is possible. We pray for the impossible. And I think this combination is something that is defining in terms of how one builds an organization, and it's defining in terms of one builds himself in an organization. Thank you.
Those are values, guys. That's it, guys. That mic drop, guys. That's mic drop. Basically, guys, good work founded on God-fearing principles, the love, understanding, and belief of the guy up there.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks for that, sir.
We understand each other, Peter.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, from the audience again, what is your outlook of the financial landscape of the Philippines in view of the current high inflationary environment that businesses are facing?
Well, first, as you know, this situation of the high inflation was ignited by the Ukrainian war, no? And as you can see, the supply chain is easing up. Oil prices are coming down. So we can see, we just saw the governor of the central bank forecast the inflation this year. I kind of believe that. I think definitely we can feel it, no? That inflation is tapering off. For the Philippines, though, I'm particularly concerned about agriculture, about food products. I think this is an area that I'm happy that the president is in charge of the Department of Agriculture. We still have to see, well, this is something that we cannot fix overnight. No? So I think we have to give him a bit more time and a bit more leeway in terms of solving. But I think the guy is focused. Our president is very focused on solving this agricultural products and project problems. And I think this is the particular concern that I have for the Philippines. I'm not concerned about oil. They're now manageable. The prices are. Supply chain that's coming back. But food products and agricultural products, we seem to be struggling with that. Also, more investments will be needed there, more guidance, more clearance from Malacanang and the government. But I think they're very focused on that. So are not problems that were created overnight. So it will take time to dismantle all the structures that are holding us back against production.
Good that he's actually on top of it, right?
All right. Yes.
It's actually a sad thing when you think about it. We were a powerhouse in agri before.
Yes, true. Coffee, rice. Yeah, and then now we're importing chicken. So it's quite difficult. But I think it's we need to reverse this, and I think I'm very optimistic that we have the resources, we have the land, we have what it takes now. So I think we have a good chance of getting out of the problem.
Thanks for that, sir. Well, here's a question related to GT Capital. What are your views on fintech and digital banking? Does GT Capital have plans to venture into digital currency?
Well, basically, when it comes to banking, we have a sort of an elephant in the room. called Metro Bank. So we leave that side to our banking experts. I can assure you though that while we don't sort of gloat about it, I think our digital efforts in the bank are moving forward. As you know, I still serve as a vice chairman of the bank, and I'm assured that the bank is moving forward, giving our clients very competitive and very up to speed digital capabilities within the bank. So that is moving forward. As far as GT Capital is concerned, we will not move away from what we're doing. We're a holding company. We may do investments in other areas because we do receive dividends from our investing companies. So our obligation is to support the Philippine economy. We just talk about using capital to grow the economy. And I think we will be remiss if we don't do this new investments into new areas that the company can grow and help the country also expand. No? As you know, there are other things in GT Capital, not just the bank. So we leave the bank for the bankers. And GT Capital, we start doing things that will be more supportive of our component companies.
Okay.
I'm sure half of our audience will have statistically Toyota cars. So thank you for your help. Thank you for your support. We will continue to work, introduce new products. Some new products are coming in. There's a lot of work to be done within the group. As you know, Peter, GT Capital is a house of brands. No? It's not Louis Vuitton, but we have Metrobank, Toyota, AXA, Grand Hyatt, and of course, Federal Land just landed a new joint venture with Nomura Real Estate. They raised 16 billion pesos. This is foreign direct investment. Already, I think 16 or 14 out of the 16 billion has come in, even during this COVID period, Peter. And Federal Land is going to be a major force in the property development sphere.
Those are great to hear, sir. Actually, that feeds into a question earlier, which I thought I would answer. We would get to later on. There are questions on how to improve the valuation of the stock. I guess that's it. I guess that's the answer. The products, the synergies, the coming together of the brands. Thank you for that, sir.
Let me just mention, Peter, that GT Capital is 10 years old. So I think we must adjust a little bit our expectations. So Metrobank is 60 years old. Okay, and of course other companies are even long. Bautista is 100 years. So we're GT Capital is a work in progress in terms of finding its role as it grows and expands. For the last 10 years, it was listed in 2012 and it's now 2022, 23. It was able to consolidate all the key family holdings into what is GT Capital today. Of course, I think you're talking about maybe why is the price down, why is it depressed? But if you look at our numbers, Peter, we have tripled the book value, doubled the book value from the time we listed. I'm sorry, tripled. Yeah. Our book value in 2012 was 300 pesos. Today it's about almost 900 pesos. No?
Wow.
So we're looking at a great expansion. Income has grown from something like 10 billion to about 20 billion. So the numbers have grown over time. Unfortunately, of course, this is not appreciated by the market. There's been a lot of, as you know, there's been a lot of selling, particularly foreign funds that have moved out of the Philippines in the last 6 to 8 years, no? Which we can see in the index and in the volume of the stock market. But inside GT Capital, we're very happy about our component companies. They're growing. They're in the right industries. And if we can do a little more of synergy and working more in the ecosystem, that would be great. And of course, there will be new investments, but we are a very conservative company. We have the DNA of a bank. So we will move very slowly into new areas. No, but again, just to advise everyone, we are a 10-year-old company, and that's not even a teenager at this point in time.
Yes, so you're right.
There's more coming. Thank you.
Bata pa. Outside of work, what else are you passionate about?
Well, where I spend a lot of time now, maybe it's age, no, is but I've done this before, is nurturing the communities that I have lived in. No? I'm the sort of the firecracker in our family, the fire starter in our family, and activities are regularly organized. I think you've heard some of that. We go different places, we travel different places. There are regular gatherings. That is the family. believe it or not, up to now, my Hong Kong family is alive and well, and that's a lot of activities from going to, pardon my French, to going on the first Saturday mass, which is a regular get together. I have reunions with my bosses in Ayala Investment at the Grand Hyatt recently. Of course, some of them, Mayong Cinco used to join us before he left. No, then I have a reunion also for my research people. I started research department in Ayala Investment. I have a group of about 12 people that gather together, and nerdy people, my magna cum laude. And we get together. So a lot of work. Then, of course, with my San Beda and Ateneo classmates, there's a lot of activities that I organize from here. So nurturing communities, keeping in touch with everyone is a major activity for me, either for some projects or just for unions and getting together on a regular basis. No?
It's nice, sir.
I'm very passionate about that.
Yeah, it's nice that you've kept in touch with all of them. The guys in AIDC, the guys in San Beda. That's great.
Yeah.
Something to emulate for us.
Right.
Okay, sir, is there a particular mentor or role model that really influenced how you conducted your professional career, sir?
Peter, I'll have to give that a very long answer. I hope we have time. Is it time already? Because if there's one blessing that I have, it's having good mentors. I was taken in by the head of research of Ayala Investment. His name is Rusty Albano, who introduced me to the book of Graham, Benjamin Graham, the instructor of Warren Buffett. And from there on, you've seen how I work on research. During the time, Peter, there's no Bloomberg. Everything we do is original research. We only have a calculator that we can use without looking.
Walang a click away. Walang a click away.
Wala, we do spreadsheets and everything. And that was a fantastic training for me. So Rusty Albano is my first mentor. He taught me a lot. And then he also gave me the break to go to Hong Kong. I was hired on the spot by my other next mentor, which is Mr. Toto Cruz, whom you know, who's a legend in his own time. The head of Ayala in the whole of Asia. And he taught me a lot about the building blocks of business, about budgeting, about presentations, about investments, about capital markets, about equities. Such a perfect gentleman. He also taught me the ways of the world. I was 22 when I came to Hong Kong. And he took me in, and he was my great mentor. And then when I set up my own business, of course, I moved to having no boss, and my best mentor perhaps after Mr. T, or with Mr. T, is a spiritual director, a spiritual coach. And that helped me in my 13 years of doing business. Remember, when you come out of a corporate life, you are like floating in universe. No strings, no fixed thing to do. You don't even have to wake up on time. You don't have to go to the office. You can wear shorts to the office. Yeah, you're so flexible. But my spiritual director managed to put the rigidities, the norms, instill the values in me, created that higher purpose, instilled that higher purpose of work. You remember my story about the story of the bricklayer?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
A bricklayer, a some builder of wall, and a builder of cathedral. When you see the end game, the mission, then it becomes a real noble mission. No? And that was my life during my 13 years. No? Lo and behold, my next mentor, of course, my greatest mentor is Mr. T. We have done quite a lot, and he's taught me about entrepreneurship, about the Chinese way of doing business, about being on time all the time. Never missed a first metro meeting, Peter, in my maybe 17
meetings. He
years.
was always present.
All early, never late. Amazing. I mean, this being with Mr. T is an education in itself. No, so mentors have so many, and perhaps that's why where I can, Peter, I mentor people, I help people, because I am where I am because of this many people who have given me their confidence, given me their trust, and supported me all this time. It's been a fantastic journey. This is something to be really, really grateful about. So yes, mentors, we have plenty
you learned
of those.
well, sir. You learned
every step of the way. Thanks be to God. Thanks be to
You
God.
learned well, sir. Thank you for that. You are so busy. Your schedule is, but it flows from one to the other. How do you maintain a work-life balance amidst the
Uh,
demand
you know,
of work?
well, Peter, first of all, let me update you. Today, work-life balance doesn't, it's not the right word. It's called work-life integration.
Oh,
Okay.
that's nice.
Work-life balance puts it into the opposite ends, no? And really, it's only one person doing two kinds of work. Of course, you have to balance the time. There's a work office hours. There's hours at home. In fact, it's gotten more complicated because with your computer, with your phone, you can be working while at home.
Yes.
Right?
There
Or
is
the
no
reverse.
boundary.
There's no
There
boundary.
is no
So
boundary.
actually, if you look at your phone or your computer, there's an app there called mindfulness. No. So first of all, presence is very important. If you're at home, you have to be at home. When you are at work, you have to be at work. You owe both to each other. No? You owe your boss to be present at work. You owe your family to be present at home. But there is no contrast between the two because it's one person doing the same thing. And the balance is there because sometimes people think about two kinds of behavior. Like when you're in the office, you are Peter, the dealer, the trader. But when you're at home, you are the father, the kind and doting. It's not. I mean, the values should be unified, no? And we should be joined at the top. And that's why that providence thing is very important. That's the one that lays down everything in place. So really, there is no question about balance. It's a case-to-case decision. Today, Peter, we have a deal to close, Ayala land, pricing. Okay, you have to stay at home. Yeah. Tomorrow is the graduation of your son. You have to be there. Be there. I mean, it all comes from the same thing. The behavior is the same. The integrity is the same. You practice honesty in all areas of your life. And that's where the unity of life comes in. And that's I think once you have that, it's situational rather than fundamental conflict. Okay, and everything can be sorted out. Yeah.
Wow, guys, you heard tall order integration.
I don't know.
Again, if everything is founded,
yes,
guy up there, things will be easier.
Fall into place. Yeah.
Sir, what is a must-read book for you for a young person? If there's one book that you would recommend, what would it be?
Well, it depends on where you are. No, I have quite a number of books that I can recommend.
Right now, sir, are you reading anything in particular?
Well, I'm reading this interesting book about Microsoft, Satya Nadella. He has transformed Microsoft. It's amazing how a household name like that needs to tweak its business, to pivot its business as we use. But then it comes not in terms of products, not in terms of who to hire, the experts, but in terms of culture. How do you change the culture? And that is a very interesting, I think all of us go through that. All of us go through transformation, adaptation. Nowadays, we call it pivoting. How do you pivot your business? No? And this guy managed to do it. Thankfully, I bought the shares before I read the book. So I think I'm doing well.
Good job.
The guy's good. And it's a very good. So Microsoft, that's what I'm reading now. But there are many other books to read. For young people, very young people, I'd advise them to read Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I think it's a very basic grounding of how to behave in business and how to behave with people. Yeah. It doesn't matter what your business is. No, you can be finance, engineering, but learn that. And I think there's a lot of spiritual things. A lot of I wish I read a book when I was 20s. No? I read the book much later. No? And of course, for investment, you have, as I said, Benjamin Graham on equities, very basic books. Quite a lot of things to read. No? I mean, but those are the ones top of my head are recommendable.
Thank you for that, sir. Sir, you mentioned the time kanina. I'm nearing 5:30. I hope you don't mind another 15 minutes with you because the questions are still there.
No problem. Okay.
Great. Thanks. Thank you, sir. Another question from the audience is: does the group plan to invest in EV stations to complement your Toyota dealership?
Well, this is a question that is I have to push down to the Toyota level. It will not be an investment of GT. It will probably at the Toyota level. It will not be. But where we can help in terms of building the infrastructure, we are. helping. In fact, on top of Toyota, we have also a second-hand car dealership and insurance. So yes, it's possible. We have not had, in my short time here, which is like just about a year, I've not seen a proposal yet in terms of building the infrastructure. But if there's an opportunity, I think we should be there. I just read the report from Deloitte this morning that there should be a concerted effort to improve the infrastructure on the EV. But as you know, Toyota today is very heavy on the hybrid technology, which you don't need to depend on EV stations. So whoever you are, please consider hybrid car instead of an electric car.
Ang haba nga.
Sorry. Is that a bad advertisement?
Hindi naman. Mahaba nga yung pila.
Yeah, I know. All right.
Sir, here's this is a weird question from the audience, but nice to ask you. Are there any TV shows that you would like to recommend or that you can recommend?
Oh my God. My TV shows are more on the light side of things. I like action movies, actually. If you ask me, I don't like very serious movies. But I do watch. I did watch Chloe, which I enjoyed very well. Yes.
No,
I love it. That's all I've been watching. I'm a regular. I've been watching quite a number of different genres. I mean, Turkish movies also are becoming very popular. I've watched one whole 72 series during the COVID days. So,
oh wow!
So I'm quite light in terms of watching movies. Light in terms of not very heavy topics. Not more of sort of entertainment rather than educational.
Okay. Thank you for that, sir. Again, a nice question from the audience. Very interesting question. What keeps you moving forward, or what keeps you inspired, sir?
I think the first thing that you must generate is interest, enthusiasm. When your enthusiasm dies, or when you don't care or you don't mind, everything dies. But if you're aware of so many things happening, like reading a little article, right? I mean, looking at. I mean, it creates an interest in you. It keeps you going. No? I think it's to be connected all the time. To be aware of the world, what is happening, what are the opportunities, who is moving where. I mean, that kind of awareness will keep you up. No, but when you start withdrawing and when you start not minding what is going around, not being up to date, not being on top of things, then of course that interest wanes. You're not energized to do anything. No? So I think that is that. Well, we also have Peter. At the end of the day, you remember the parable of talents, which I always read in First Metro's visioning, strategy sessions, and so on. We are given talents, no? And of course, our objective, we are tasked to use up those talents, no? Okay, as much as we can. So while we are healthy, we can still function, we can help people. And life doesn't have to be the same thing that we do before. It can be more mentoring, it can be more advising, it can be more engaged in other things. So the world needs so much. No? I mean, today, if you allow me, I'll put up a tomato farm or something. I mean, so many things that can be done in the world. I mean, the interest is still there. No? It's more a question of time and how to do it and what to do it. But I think that it comes from your interest, no? Okay. In generating and keeping that enthusiasm for things and awareness of what is happening around you.
Thank you. Yeah, so you heard it, guys. Interest, aware, and be connected. Awareness and be connected.
Be connected. Yeah, that's true.
Thank you for that, sir. What advice would you give to your younger self if you could go back in time and share insights from,
I find, Peter, that many things that happened to me, the most learnings I had were when there were failures in my life. Okay. And if I were to look back, I would not have worried so much. I thank God I got through them. I mean, losing a job when you have a kid and a wife in Hong Kong,
that's stressful,
without any prospect of I mean, I don't come from my parents are public school teachers. There's no family wealth to lean back on. I was on my own, no? And again, when people ask me, why did you set up a company? Survival. There's no great plan to be an entrepreneur. If somebody offered me a job, I would have taken it any time, no? But I think the most learnings that have happened in my life are those critical, well, this book called Second Mount, they call it valleys, no? Where you have a fallback or when you have something happens to your life. That's where, and I think if I were to look back, I wouldn't have worried so much about those things. I would look at them as blessings, a blessing in the sky, as my daughter would tell me. But everything in life can be a blessing. Like crisis can always be an opportunity. And so I would tell myself, don't be hopeful all the time, be positive, be grateful, and just grit your teeth and move on. No?
Yeah,
I mean, I've
trudge
spent,
on. You'll get there. We'll get over this.
Yeah. So the success days, you don't learn, you just celebrate. But the hard days, that's where you really build character. That's where you grow. That's where you make something out of yourself. No? And I think if I were to look back, I would have appreciated it more. I mean, now it's easy to say, right? But during the time, I was like, it was a difficult time. No? So that's probably what I would say, what I would think.
If you talk to him, it's like, kaya mo yan.
Kaya mo yan.
Kaya
This
mo
is
yan.
a time. It's a good time for you to show yourself. Man up. Develop your character. Grow. So that's and truly, I think out of crisis, I think the Chinese character, as you know, is from crisis it becomes an opportunity, and I think that's why in the Philippines there's so many opportunities.
Yes.
You know why, no? There's so many crises. So okay. I hope that is not taken negatively. Okay, that is a joke. Okay.
Yes, sir. I'd like to reserve my last few questions. More where you are right now in GT Capital. Looking ahead, what is the vision for the future of GT Capital, and what are the strategic priorities you're going to focus on to achieve that vision, sir?
All right. Okay. Well, basically, as I mentioned, we are 10-year-old, so probably this closest episode, maybe season one, to be fair. Okay. So we have a few episodes, and season one closes, everything in good place. We are with Metro Bank, we have AXA, we have Toyota, we have Federal Land, and then we have MPIC, which is in very, very critical industries and infrastructure. It so happens, Peter, that all these companies are organically going to grow in a very fast way. As you know, banking, insurance, car, power consumption, our consumption of this is like a third world, really very poor country. And over time, surefire, Peter, surefire. As the economy grows, as GDP grows, the car density will go up. Sorry about traffic. The power consumption will go up. Banking, there will be more spread, there will be more services, more. So we are in industries that are, and then Federal Land is showing up now, manning up now with good projects, new capital. So organically, we can just look at the companies inside and we will see them grow. And I think if you look at 2010 income to 2012 to 22 income, you'll see how the trajectory has gone up. No? Moving forward, though, there are possibly two areas where we can do the season two. One area will be possibly more synergy in the group. I mean, everybody, as you know, for instance, we hear about BPI acquiring Robinson Bank, and they're supposed to capture the synergy of the. I mean, these are difficult things to do, but I think over time there are ways to be able to harness all these major companies under the GT Capital brand or house that are basically, for now, operating very much on their own.
Independent.
If we can put a little bit more touch of synergy amongst them, a little bit more harnessing of each particular strength and ecosystem, that organic growth can even be bumped up. So that's the second thing. The third thing is, I mentioned to you earlier that we are a house of brands. We have so many brands in the GT Capital. We don't even know our identity. We are we have an identity challenge, no? Because we are Metrobank, we are Toyota, we are Grand Hyatt, we are AXA. But the reality is we are a house of partnerships. And GT Cap has been very strong in partnerships. Toyota, I think on next month will celebrate 35 years of partnership.
Oh, wow. That long.
Okay, AXA is about 23 years of partnership, and so on and so forth. So this is an area that we can tap. The government talks about, Mr. Marcos wants to convert ambassadors into FDI people who will bring in FDIs into the Philippines. We are right smack into the sweet spot. So if we can find opportunities to work together with partners, we will do that. And as you know, this is always a good combination. And then, of course, thirdly, we will look at over time, we will get dividends from these companies, and we will create a pool of capital that we can reinvest. And so, again, maybe season 2, towards season 3, we may be looking at new industries. We may be looking at industries that be adjacent to what we have, related to what we have. We may be a little bit more sophisticated than where we are today. We're only 10 years old anyway.
Yes,
so
yes.
we will probably do that. But remember, Peter, our DNA is banking, Metro Bank, and we will always be conservative. So any move that we do will be very cautious and protective of our existing businesses. We will not put them in danger, nor will we create projects that may tarnish the companies that we have under GT Capital. So we will have to be patient about this company, about this 10-year-old company. I hope I answered your questions, Peter.
Yes. Actually, not only did you answer my question, but you hit 2 or 3 other questions that I had. No, but at the end of the day, after everything...
We will be part of this, Peter. We will rise with the tide. Okay? So that is it. All right.
We are in the right country.
Okay.
The GT Capital is in the right businesses.
Okay.
You have the right family, and we will make the right friends. I think that's your strategy.
Partners too. Friends and partners. All right.
There you go. Thank you. Sir, I'm afraid I've taken a lot of your time. I know you have.
Yeah.
On behalf of everyone here with us today, thank you for this chat. Which we normally have. Thank you for the chat. Always a pleasure and privilege to share words with you, sir. Can I ask you for a parting message for our viewers, please?
Well, I don't know I don't know who we have here in the room, but I'd like to thank everyone for joining this little episode. I hope it was worth your time. I hope you've created some insights and developed some ideas. But I want to thank you not just for being here today, but for being with us, for being with me for the last 25 years. Some of you may be with First Metro, some of you with other companies in Metro Bank. Some of you may have been those we are issuing papers, those we are our clients, our buyers of RTBs and so on. Thank you, everyone, for retail, individual investors and corporate investors. Thank you for the support that we have received. For myself, for the 25 years that I have served the family and the Metrobank family, thank you for being with Metrobank, for the support you have. I'm sure you're all Metrobank account holders. I would assume that. And I would thank all the Toyota car buyers. There are 50% of you are Toyota car buyers, according to statistics. Okay, so I thank you for all the businesses, the support that you have given us during this year. And we're here for you. And hopefully we can do more business as our beloved country moves forward and becomes the sweetheart of Asia. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, Peter.
Thank you. Guys, that's it for us today. Grateful to everyone who joined us today. On behalf of Mr. Sebastian and the rest of senior management of First Metro, we deeply appreciate the continued support. Yesterday, here today, tomorrow. Thank you for everything, guys. We look forward to having you again in our mid-year economic and capital markets briefing in July. We hope the rest of the day treats you well. This is Peter Bautista. Thank you and see you again in the trading room. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks for listening to First Metro Securities Philippine Stock Market Weekly Podcast. Don't forget to follow us to get first dibs on our new episodes. For more up-to-date market news and info, exclusive content, and the opportunity to connect with your fellow Filipino investors and traders, join facebook.com/groups facebook.com/firstmetrosec and be part of the First Metrosec family.
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast creators, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect the official policy and position of Podcast Network Asia, the hosts of the program, or other programs of the network. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.